Hi, I'm Jennifer Pittinger-Haynes, Managing Director for Bench Middle East, and I'm coming to you for your holiday edition, your August holiday edition of AHIC Rewind from Sydney. And we're in lockdown at the moment, so I have had time to be able to have a look through some of the archives and pick out what I think is a fabulous session from 2020 Griff in Amsterdam. Back in the wonderful days when we were all able to get together without masks and get close and personal. The session is with Mourad Mazouz, who is the genius restaurateur behind, amongst other venues, Sketch in London, which was previously the world's most Instagrammed restaurant. And he's in conversation with David Singleton. And they're having a conversation around reinvention. And I think it's a really important and interesting conversation to have at the moment when a lot of the world is looking at kind of what comes next and how we reinvent ourselves, particularly in the restaurant industry. So enjoy, and I will hopefully see you at AHIC in September.
It's clear that all the academics in the room have overrun, all the clever people have overrun, and I'm very sorry, Jennifer, we're about to overrun again. But I had written quite a long introduction to Mourad, but you don't really want to hear about me. We really want to hear everything from Mourad, so we will get on to listening to him. But in short, Mourad, born in Algeria, and then 20, 30 years ago, arrived in Paris, where he planted his culinary roots. He worked around the world, including LA and the Middle East, where he and I worked together a few years ago. But as I say, we're going to listen today about Sketch, and it was a story that began in 2002, where Mourad took this incredible building and transformed it into a space of 5 just extraordinary rooms. And the theme of this conference is about evolve, and we're going to hear about how Mourad teamed up with the culinary genius that is Pierre Garnier, and how Sketch is now done one of those institutions in London and around the world. So, Mourad Mazouz.
Thank you. It's fake, huh? We saw each other.
Mourad, please,
okay.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
So, we're very lucky to have Mourad here today. Next week, he's opening his new venture alongside Momo's in Hedden Street called Mo's Diner. And if anybody can create an incredible restaurant in such a small space, it's almost like a corridor, isn't it? Mourad has done it. It opens next week on the 17th of February, my birthday, thank you. So thank you very much indeed. So we're going to start, it's nearly happy hour, I think, Mourad, so we've got a gin and tonic that's going to come up.
Okay.
In true to form, that whenever we take the stage, we have a gin and tonic that started last year.
If you don't mind, I will keep with water.
Yeah.
Now,
we
if
keep
not,
it,
I will be
we keep it
a
very
bit
close.
delirious. Okay.
We keep it close to us, Mourad. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. There we are. Cheers.
Thank you.
We'll get going. Cheers.
Allez, cheers.
Cheers. I'll be blurring in a little bit. So we're going to talk, Mourad, today about, about what we do every day, which is about running restaurants and doing the things that we love all the time. And
Nightmare.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're going to talk about how and why Sketch has evolved and how it has over almost 2 decades now. How?
Look.
So, listen, I remember you said to me many times, Mourad, about how fashion never lasts, and your restaurants are very fashionable. But Sketch has remained fashionable and relevant over the years. How do you look beyond that fashion moment, Mourad, and to keep evolving in a way? But also, in contrast, you have restaurants that don't evolve.
Yeah.
They stay the same.
Yeah. By principle, everything which is fashion become unfashion. So yes, you need to think. I mean, it's quite natural in a way. When I open a place, I'm so scared and so nervous. I'm only thinking about the next year, the year after, and the year after. You know, even if I know that I don't know future, I'm still have a goal to continue thinking. Because even if it's very fashionable and big success the first year, you don't run a restaurant for 2 or 3 years. For me, the profit is so low anyway in this business, you know, compared to the amount of work that you need to do and the number of people you work with. you need to think in the long term, because I realize then, a bit every year in the long term is much better than having 3 or 4 years very big and after run after something who has a chance to collapse a bit. So I don't know.
Because you've never closed a restaurant for any long period of time, have you? Really, it's a little bit. Yeah, you close the pink room as we know it at the back of Sketch for a period of time, maybe every couple of years, and you change and you evolve and you bring new artists.
Yeah, Sketch is a different story because it's such a big place, and first I come from a classical kind of traditional background, bistro, what I call the classical restaurant with 70, 100 cover, and suddenly to go back and sign. First I signed this place. The place was not for me, okay, at the beginning. It was for a friend of mine.
Right.
So I found this place for him. He wanted to do a club and everything. He was the owner of Bandouche, a big club in Paris, and he wanted to do this. So I found it for him. And 3 months after, he stepped back because I don't know what, his life. So I signed the place. I didn't have a clue what I'm going to do with this place. Not a clue. I signed the place because everybody wanted it. So I signed it. And after I needed to decide what do I do with this place. So
you said about the design then, and did you have any vision in your mind as to what Sketch was going
nothing.
to be? So what did you do?
Nothing. Even it took me 4.5 years to build a nightmare again. I planned it in 1.5 years, and it lasted 4.5 years. And every 6 months, the place changed totally. Also, the name Sketch is like a Rubik's Cube for me. I chose this name because I thought to be alive in the long term, in the long run, I need to make a place we evolve quite often. To make sure that it keeps online with the time you're living in, It cannot be has-been. It's not possible. You need to live with your time. So I needed to always, so Sketch was the name, it's like a drawing, You draw something, and you start again, and you do a lot of sketches. And that's what I do, basically, still.
4.5 years in the sketchbook. You opened.
4.5 and still, since they opened, it's 17 years ago now, then we opened, I'm still, sketching all the time. And right now I'm redoing the lecture room because we get a 3 Michelin stars. So I try to show them something change, because my chefs, when we win the next day, they told me, so now what are we going to do? I said, but we're going to do what we did the last 3 years. That's why we get the 3 star. So we continue. So for me, because of the question, I said, well, it's time maybe to move a bit and to make the room even more glamorous, more everything, So that's what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm right, but that's how I'm doing it.
But I remember you telling me that, you spent £12.5 million in this beautiful place. You opened the door.
I was supposed to spend 3, and I didn't have the money, so,
All right, so you're now overspent by £9 million. And then you open. And then you have the media and the critics telling you, oh my God, what is this man doing?
They killed us.
Yeah.
2 years of
thinking?
killing. You don't have time to think. That's the beauty of restaurants, because the next morning it's drama every day anyway, So the next day you need to, you're at work, and most of the time you're so exhausted, then you don't have enough time. And actually, that's maybe why I do this job, because it allowed you to don't think, to just do. Because you don't have time to think, most of the time. So yes, for 2 years, I thought I was totally wrong. First, when you try to do something and really give everything you have and try to build and please people as much as you can by adding and trying to make this place so interesting, and suddenly the first critics then you have, it's ambitious, pretentious, grand, that was the reflection that I had, from others. So you're a bit, surprised, but I realized a few years after that somewhere I made a mistake, even if in long term it was not a mistake. Don't make people small, make them big. So you cannot make customers feel impressed. And that's what I learned with Sketch. You need to feel them immediately comfortable when they come in. And Sketch was making people small, very impressive, for every type of people also, And so that was really, I think, well, long run was not a mistake, but maybe if I can say the beginning where we were not, nobody understand really, even me, honestly, why and how. And 2 years after all these bad critics, where I was really my knee on the floor, thinking, I will never achieve something, you know, than I wanted. An article came out by the late AHIC, who gave us 5 stars, thinking that absolutely sketch was wonderful for this and this and this and this reason, and he was right, I think.
Yeah.
And so all that, and that's when really it was a turn in my mind to say then what I did actually was not so bad, and actually I was in the right path, and I need to continue, and that's what I did.
In an industry, Mourad, where owners focus so much on cost, and I know when we worked together, you were always talking about cost, and it wasn't about saving cost, ever. It was about spending the right money, and you drove us mad, and you drive everybody mad for the right reason. And
I don't know if it's always the right reason. It's really because for me, a restaurant is all about details. So you need to, every little detail counts.
Yes, yeah, and to that point, you know, you have a theory, don't you? We were talking about this over tea a few weeks ago, about your daisy theory.
No,
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, the daisies, I give that as an example for my staff usually. You know, we all love receiving flowers, so, but you don't give a flower who are a little bit dead or missing something. So the daisy for me, you have what we call in French the pistil, you know, the center of it where we come to it, insect and us and everything, that's the main reason of a restaurant, the middle, the food. And after you have all the petals. And the petal is what? One is the fun, already, the first impression. Second thing, the way you receive people. I'm not teaching anything to anybody, but that's important. And after that is the way you're sitting, the height of the table, the height of your seat, the comfort of your seat. After that is lighting. Music, if you have a background music or not, the way you handle the noise, the movement in the room. By example, in my diner, I put fan. I don't need a fan, you know, but I put the fan just when, if you enter, you're always going to have a movement in the room.
Yes.
You know, it's perception, feeling. And I will make this fan very slowly, you know what I mean? Because, voilà, it's just the feeling of movement. So, what I was?
We were talking about the daisy thing.
Right, the daisy. So every petals has its importance, you know? If I give you a daisy, beautiful, with 3 or 4 petals missing, well, you will keep it for a few minutes and you will throw it.
Yes.
I have more chance you keep the daisy. If I give you a beautiful thing, you will keep it or give it to your wife or keep it at home, you know? And that is my image about the daisies. We need to think that I don't do that all the time. I make mistakes. Yesterday, by example, I received a phone call this morning with miss one table, you know what I mean, etc., etc. So we're human, we make mistakes. But the idea is to go till the last little details to make sure that everything is more or less all right, you know. I mean, more than less. Actually.
People ask me, Mourad, you know, is he an artist? Is he a businessman? Is he a restaurateur? What are you?
But first, it's hard for me to say what I am, but it's, I will say, artisanal restaurateur, because, by example, I don't have a group, which is not really business-orientated, what I do. They're all independent. And I think, and I don't know why I do that, I keep them independent to have their own identity, you know? So I don't have an office who run everything. They're all really independent. Nothing mixing, we don't share the stuff, we don't share anything, we don't share supplier, nothing.
We never looked at a P&L in all the time we worked together. Or a business
that's not my strength. That's why I have people like you work with me. You know, I don't care at all about a business plan.
So
I'm not interested about that. By example, the diner I'm doing now, do you think I made I don't know. I have no clue. I know it will look nice. I know you will be maybe comfortable. I know then I choose the chef all young because I'm going to put a bit of music, so they need to cope with the music, you know. So I choose them, if it's possible, less than 30 years old to make sure that they cope with it, you know, for sure. Talented, but, you know, young. I know also then the food will be nice because that's the core of the place. And I have a great chef working with me right now about the food we're doing, the shore of Mediterranean, you know. So what I know. Basically, I do the food that I know. I know that it's great, and I would love to go to a place like this.
And now, they will come.
Now, I will make sure, if it's not the case at the beginning, then it can be balanced and we can make profit because the business needs to make profit, you know. But again, I'm not thinking in short term. I'm always thinking long term. So for me, making a bit of profit every year, it's what I want, you know. And first few years, repay the mortgage that you took, because I'm always double what I supposed to do. And so it's 2 or 3 more years to pay back. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is to make a bit of money, you know, along the course. And what's happened in Paris with my place, 404 has been open 31 years now.
Yeah.
It's a small little restaurant, 80 square meters, including toilets and kitchen. But it's just beautiful flower.
And the same customers are now coming back still.
C'est funny you say that. 50-60% of my clients are still the same. Alors, they used to be young, very thin. Now they're fat, the woman and 3 kids. And the kids do the 18 years old, the 21 years old. I do the birthday still, you know?
Yeah.
So somewhere, for me, it's a great success to keep the same client, you know? And they always tell me, oh, we've been this for so long, you know? It's wonderful.
Sketch is the most Instagram restaurant in the world, but you never set out for it to be an Instagram sensation, did you?
But it was open before Instagram. Yeah. And when Instagram came, it was full of color and people started taking pictures. At the beginning, I was really annoyed by that. Yeah. Really annoyed because, you know, people taking pictures. What is it? You know, it's not a museum. You see it, eat, and everything. And actually now, I even help them because everybody is against photos. So me, what I did the opposite. I made, last week, we opened it, I made an app in Sketch where you can play and add few things in your picture from Sketch with the drawings of David Shrigley and everything. I even helped them to even more pictures. You're doing it. It's part of our time. Live with your time and help them.
Your people in the restaurant, Mourad, are beautiful. They have the same level of artisanal flair, the boys, the girls, even the chefs, the same way. How is it because you are one of the most demanding
I don't
people
choose beautiful people. I choose people from the heart.
I know.
Because even when someone, what I call the broken arm, you know, doesn't do anything, doesn't know, a bit lost and everything, doesn't know, to work with a big heart, for me, that's more than enough, because I know for 6 months I will suffer with them, but I know that in a year's time they will be the best in the room.
And they stay.
Because when you have a heart, you can do everything. So I have professionals coming with a great CV, but I'm not taking them. Because they're great CV, but they're a bit pretentious. Me, I will learn, I will show. You know what? Forget. Take somebody very simple with a big heart, and he will do extra miles. He will cross the road to buy something for the customers if something miss, and that's what I want.
I remember this.
We're here to please people. You know, it's an industry where all you have to do is to please people. You need already, I will say, if someone, so many people, bankers, and I will go and will open a restaurant. I mean, the first quality you need to have is you want to really give to others. If you have this quality, go to the restaurant business, that's perfect.
We talked about, and we've only got a few minutes left, Mourad, but everyone's been asked today, the colleagues in the restaurant industry, about where next. You've worked internationally. You have your beautiful stable of restaurants now, which you're never out of. You're always in them. You're never in an office. You're never in a boardroom. You're never in competitor restaurants either. You don't go to other restaurants.
No, for me, a restaurant is on the floor.
Yeah.
The back of house is very important. Again, I have people like you to make that happen. Yeah. But me, a restaurant is on the floor, is every day, is table by table. You know, again, I'm not doing every day everything perfect, but we're trying. And for me, the most important is how was the night, not how much we did. How was the atmosphere? I don't care about the revenue. I care about the atmosphere because I know that the atmosphere will bring me people tomorrow. So it's really the way you take care of people who are here tonight, and not tomorrow.
And where next for Mourad Mazouz?
I will never stop. I will continue because, like I told you before, if you stop, you're going to think. If you think, you're going to be depressed. So, continue working and get busy as long as possible. What next? I'm doing a diner, which is maybe the smaller place I never made. It's very tiny.
Yes.
Why a diner? Because one day I read the newspaper. I was in New York 6 years ago. I had these things that I wanted to do next to Momo, and I was reading the newspaper on the death of the diner. I will do one. Because he's dying. And I wish one day I will do, if he works well, I will do one in America just to come back in America with a diner.
Just to prove
I would love to. I start learning my job in America. I work as a busboy. That's how I come into the restaurant. I never wanted to be a restaurateur. I never wanted to be in the restaurant, But I came in because I started to travel. And when I was 21, I was living in LA, and I work in a place called Mazouz. Wolfgang Park was the chef at the time, and Patrick Terrail with his flower, which was impressive, the owner, was the nephew of Claude Terrail from La Tour d'Argent in Paris. And I worked there as a busboy, runner, waiter, And what was the question?
Where are you going next?
Where I'm going next. So voilà. So for me, if I come back to America with a diner, I did like a... a big tour.
I'll come and do it with you.
I would love to.
I think we
I even have already a friend, a bit a loser with a big heart in LA who can run the place.
Yeah, okay.
I know exactly who.
We'll try and find one for you.
Okay. All right.
Have we got time for any questions, Jennifer? I can't see anybody. We have time for 2 questions.
Nobody wants to talk to me.
Here we go. We have a lady here.
Yes.
Hi, Mourad.
Hello.
Marriott in Middle East and Africa. Are you looking to expand at all in the Middle East? Because, your Momo's brand is very well known, and out there it would do really well. I know you came to Dubai once, but would you look at expanding over there in the Middle East?
No. Alors, me, it's meetings. I've been to Dubai once because I met a guy who came to see me through a friend in London. And he was a guy who came with his pants and his shoes, very like Timberland, nothing special. He came and he wanted to see me. Okay, so I said, yes, we sit. And after 3 hours, we're still talking to each other. And I didn't know who was this guy, so I promised him I will go to see him in Dubai when I passed by, because I was going to Sharjah to see I was invited to see the Biennale. So I've been to Sharjah, and I stopped on the way back. And I found out that he was Mr. Altayer, owner of a big group, I didn't know when I met him in London. He was so simple. And I loved so much this man that when he asked me to make a cafe for them, I did it. I did a cafe. He wanted Momo and everything, and he didn't want to give the name Momo because, again, if I do a Momo, it needs to be with alcohol. It needs to be, close to what we do in London, which I never did yet. Actually, yes, I did a place in Beirut. I can talk to you about it. But in Dubai, I made a cafe for locals, basically. But with a DJ, my waiter was a musician also. So, something a bit... and it lasted for 12, 13 years before the mall where I was, they decided to make a hotel, broke the place. But in the meantime, we did one in Abu Dhabi, we're still open. So the one in Dubai is closed, but the one in Abu Dhabi is still open. And I just did it with my heart. I lived in Dubai almost 3 or 4 months to make sure that the place was built like I wanted. Because in Dubai, you need to do everything quick. And voilà, it was basically, I want to say, by love of someone, then I did it. I'm not in love with him, don't worry. But when I say I love, means I really, really like this person a lot. Obed Altayer was, for me, a revelation. Wonderful person. So I will do something maybe somewhere. Look, Beirut, because my girlfriend and my partner, she's Lebanese. So I did something in Beirut. It worked very well for 2.5 years. And after the war started, the problem, the Hezbollah blocking the center town. So you know what? Thank you very much. I ran away. I'm already had the baggage of Algeria. I'm not going to add the one of Lebanon, But it was a bad experience, but it was a fantastic experience in my life. I never regretted to do it.
Great, thank you. I worked with Samir and Mohammed on that, but it was a great concept, Almaz. Samir Kerchichev.
He's still with me. He's back in London with me.
Okay. He was having the biggest bollocking on the phone earlier.
Yeah.
We have one question from the gentleman.
30 years then he worked with me, Samir. He left 10 years, but he came back. Yes.
Hi, Mourad. My name is Iran TB.
Where are you?
Here.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I'll stand. I have a restaurant in London, my only one, baby. Just about to open another one very soon. What's the biggest tip you can give me for a very, very small operator that's trying to grow and have big dreams?
Finding the best people next to you. We don't work alone. We work with others. And alors, I don't want to say it's my strength because I don't feel like this, but having good people around you. By example, my CEO of Sketch, I swear to you it's true. When I go to see her and knock the door, she make me wait 15, 20 minutes in the corridor. And after she said, you can come in. And I stayed standing in the front of her. And everybody's telling me, how? Why? I said, because of her, I go on holiday. You know, so I need to let her run the place and give her as much as I can. It's what I do with Samir also in Momo's. I give them much more because they are better than me. And I try to employ, if I can, I wish I have more money, because the problem is the money. I wish I have more money to pay even more people to be so much better than me, then they fill up the millions of gaps that I have in this, you know, for this industry. So to run two places, you need to have good people next to you.
Thank you so much.
I think that's everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.